All right, before we get into this video, I want to ask you guys a question. What camera do you think this intro footage was filmed on? Pause the video right now, go down below, comment which camera do you think it is, because I'm really curious to see if you can guess it. Did you do it? Are you done? Okay. The camera that I used was just kidding. It was the Canon EOS R with this Atomos Ninja 5. And I'm really curious to see who got it right, because if you asked me the same question, I would have definitely guessed wrong. I would have guessed maybe even like a C200, C300, because the image is really, really nice. I don't know how well this is gonna translate on YouTube with compression and all of that stuff, but when you look at this footage, it's so crisp. The image is really, really nice, the colors, and there's barely any noise. It's almost unlike any other footage that I've seen from a mirrorless or DSLR camera. It might actually even be the best 24 frames per second footage that I've seen from a little mirrorless guy. I even uploaded a few clips for you guys if you're interested in checking it out. But if you've used the EOS R before, you might be thinking, how does your footage look so good? My footage has never looked that good out of this camera, and neither has mine up until this point, and it's because of this Ninja 5. This is how you can supercharge any camera. And no, I'm not getting paid by Atomos to talk about this Ninja 5 or say anything about it. I simply wanted to know for myself, is this worth getting? And if you don't know what the Ninja 5 is, it's a monitor, so you can monitor while you're filming. It's got all the bells and whistles, waveform, all of that stuff. It's even HDR. But this thing is way more than just a monitor. It's also a recorder, and that is how you supercharge any camera. Great example is the Canon EOS R. The specs are kind of meh. The footage is decent, it's not bad, but it's nothing incredible. But then pair it with the Ninja 5 and you're getting 4K 10-bit 422 in ProRes HQ, which is unreal. To get that amount of quality from such a small little camera, that would have been unheard of just a couple years ago. And some cameras you can get even more using this recorder. For example, the Nikon Z6, they just announced that it's gonna output RAW, so that means that the Ninja 5 is gonna be able to record that in ProRes RAW. And if you don't know what ProRes RAW is, that's totally fine, because I don't even really know exactly what it is, but essentially it's mixing RAW and ProRes. So you get the RAW capabilities, you can edit and post, have a lot more room, the image is super nice, but then you have the easy workings of ProRes, so it's gonna be a little bit smaller file sizes, and I assume it's gonna be a lot easier for your editing programs, so then it's gonna run a lot smoother in there. Now, not every camera gets a massive supercharge. The biggest ones I would say are the GH5, the GH5S, the Canon EOS R, and the Nikon Z6. I don't know if I'm forgetting any other ones. But then there's cameras like the Sonys that don't output a crazy high image out of the HDMI, so they don't get as big of a boost. They basically just get ProRes recording. But even that's great, because if you're having to transcode your footage every single time into ProRes, this is gonna save you a ton of time. I noticed, at least with the Sony footage in 4K, in Premiere it's really choppy, jittery, it doesn't run very smoothly, so a lot of times you do need to transcode it into ProRes. This does it for you automatically. You don't need to spend all of that time transcoding all of your footage. And if you don't know what ProRes is, it's basically just a really high quality codec. So it's gonna run smoother in your editing programs and it's gonna be better for color grading. Now you're probably thinking you need to spend an arm and a leg to get a high quality monitor and a recorder at the same time. And I thought the same thing. When I looked up the price, I was expecting it to be around $2,000, $2,500. I thought this thing is definitely gonna be expensive. But to my surprise, it's just under $1,000, which is really incredible considering I have a little small HD monitor up here so I can see myself. And I think that cost around $2,000, maybe 3-4 years ago. And for me, the biggest thing with cameras is always the image. That's like the main thing I'm looking at. And to be able to supercharge your image with something like this, that makes this a really interesting product that you can spend about the price of a lens, not even like an L series expensive lens, $1,000, and you can upgrade or supercharge your camera. That's kind of incredible, actually. And if you're thinking about getting the Ninja 5 or you're kind of on the fence, here's the biggest reasons I see for getting one of these. And the first thing would be just having a great monitor. If you haven't used a monitor when you're filming, it's gonna be a game changer for you. As soon as you start using it, it's so hard to go back to the camera LCD screen. And there's something psychological that happens when you see your footage as you're filming and it looks really good. It kind of gets you hyped, it gets you pumped, more excited to keep filming and to keep trying different things. Whereas if you're looking at a small LCD screen and your footage doesn't look that good, it's kind of a bummer, a downer, and you don't get as excited to film because you don't see how good the footage is until you put it on your computer. So having a great monitor that's HDR, really bright, and has all those bells and whistles like waveform and all the different tools that help you film, that's a really nice bonus of the Ninja 5. But the biggest benefit is the insane image upgrade that you're gonna get on some cameras, especially cameras like the EOS R, the GH5s, the Nikon Z6. That's when it's really worth getting something like the Ninja 5 because the boost in quality is such a massive jump. Number 3, it's really nice to be able to record straight into ProRes. Not only is it gonna save you time, but it's gonna save you a lot of headache in post when you're editing, and it's gonna make your grades look better. So yeah, big bonus. And then lastly, you're gonna be recording to an SSD. This one is 500 gigabytes, so you don't even need memory cards. You can just record to this thing. But there are some downsides also to the Ninja 5. It's another piece of equipment that you gotta lug around. It runs on Sony batteries, so you're gonna have to carry around Sony batteries because most likely you're not powering your mirrorless or DSLR with these big Sony batteries. But that's kind of it. Other than the size and, you know, I was using, for example, a gimbal on this shoot and it was a little bit tricky trying to balance and all. But this is how you can supercharge any camera. If you're looking to get a little bit more to your camera, you're looking to get a little bit better image or a lot better image in some cases, like this guy, you definitely want to check out the Ninja 5. I was thoroughly impressed and I'm definitely going to be using this a lot more from now on. And please, if anybody from Nikon is watching this video, I would love to try the Z6, especially with this guy. I'm so curious. I've never used a Nikon before, but this makes me really curious to try it out and to see what the image is like, especially if we can get ProRes RAW. That would be the best. I don't think the firmware is out yet, but yeah, I'm very surprised. And I'm curious, be honest, who got it right? Did you guess the EOS R? I don't think you did.
She